What's up, Exiles? Advance here again, and this time I want to present my Lightning Arrow build from Abyss Hardcore League. I have died at level 96 during Elder fight on a tier 15 map, but that was my fault. I believe that this build can kill all endgame content on a hardcore, but for sure not so easy like Broken Array of Guardians with Scorching Rays or Glacial Cascade Mines. Anyway, this build is pretty nice. Okay, let's start. This time I have decided to make something interesting with an Inquisitor. I have chosen Windreaper bow because of very high crit rate and attack speed. Crit rate is extremely important with this build because Inquisitor's Ascendancy allows you to ignore all elemental resistances on critical hits, so Windreaper is a core item. As for gems, I have used single target setup in bow because I had Chaos Heart Armor on swap for more safe and game boss fights. But you don't need it if you're not doing Guardians, Elder, Shaper, Aziri, etc. So my gem setup for single target is Shrapnel Shot, Elemental Focus, faster attacks, elemental damage, added lightning and added cold damage. For AoE damage I have used Lightning Arrow 6-link setup in a rare Assassin's Garb, crafted with an Essence of Horror. Assassin's Garb is the best base because of high evasion and movement speed bonus. Movement speed are very important for bow builds because they have weak movement skill with a long cooldown. Gems are Lightning Arrow, Elemental Damage, GMP, Pierce, faster attacks and added lightning damage. Glows are Oscar. This new unique glows grants Assassin's Mark on hit, great accuracy bonus and some critical strike chance. As I said before, this build very much depends on critical hits, so additional chance to receive critical strike from Curse is really good bonus. But this item is not core, you can use rare glows with Herald of Ice Curse and hit setup with Assassin Mark or something else. Links I used are Frenzy, Blink Arrow, Blood Rage and GMP, but usually I've used Frenzy only on boss fights. Next goes Rare Helmet with Intelligence and Resistances. Also crafted elemental damage provides good bonus to DPS. Links are Ice Golem, Herald of Ice, Decoy Totem and Ange. I have used Herald of Ice and Ange for two reasons. First, it requires less intelligence. Second, the damage is more constant, not so spiky like lightning damage. I think this setup is better for map clearing. But if you want to maximize your DPS, lightning damage is better. So try to use Raz and Herald of Thunder, but you need near 50 additional intelligence in comparison with my setup. For endgame boss fights, I advise you to swap Rare Helmet with a Rat's Nest. It gives very important crit chance bonus. Attack and movement speed are also important things, so Rat's Nest is a very good choice when overcapped resistances are not needed. Okay, next goes Boots with movement speed enchantment. I like it because, as I said before, archers should have good movement speed. But for the endgame boss fights you should use lightning damage enchantment. Also try to find boots with a free prefix for elemental damage mastercraft. Gem setup is cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, increased duration, and I've used Val Grace when played in party, but if you are playing solo, Val Haste should be better. Next item. New belt with a socket for Abyss Jewel. New jewels are really OP and gives very good bonuses. My choice was a flat elemental damage and life. What to choose is up to you. Rings are with elemental damage, resistances, accuracy and some flat damage. You should have at least one item with good flat accuracy. Due to lack of accuracy from 3, my chance to hit is not that high. Amulet should be with crit multiplier and elemental damage. Also, it would be great if you will find Amulet with an additional crit chance. But usually I have used Bisco Collar, with a Windreaper it works good enough. Next goes common rare Spike Point Arrow Quiver. As for my flasks, this time I have tried to use Bubbling Divine Life Flask. Because of high HP pool I can't restore it from one seizing flask, and I think it is better to gain 700 life instantly and 700 in 3 seconds than 8 or 900 instantly. Next goes Basalt Flask with Freeze Immune, Diamond Flask with Curse Immune, Zero Flask with Movement Speed and Quicksilver Flask with a really good movement speed bonus. With a 20% reduced flask charges used belt I can use this flask 3 times, so I'm happy with these flask mods. As for my Ascendancy, I have played Inquisitor because it is very strong subclass for elemental crit builds. I can collect different types of elemental damage and do not worry about the resistances or penetration. Also Inquisitor grants nice bonus to attack speed, and it has very nice Keystone Augury of Penitence. It gives 16% more damage and has some bonus for defense. My tree basically consists of life and crit nodes, some accuracy nodes, and one cluster with elemental damage. You can add more life or more crit chance or maybe some dodge and spell dodge, depends on your gear and playstyle. For softcore variant you should drop some life nodes and pick much more elemental damage. Tree contains 2 keystones, Point Blank and Acrobatics. I've used one rare jewel with life and crit multipliers and 2 unique jewels collateral damage. As for bandits you should help Alira. As for Pantheon my choice is Soul of Lunaris and Soul of Shakari. Lunaris gives good defense against Abyss mobs and allows to ignore chain mod on a map. Shakari gives immune to poison and 5% reduced chaos damage taken. It is very useful when you have minus 70% chaos resistance, but at the endgame boss fights I usually switch to Solaris and Raislaza. Tooltip DPS on Shrapnel Shot is 123k, on Lightning Arrow 66k. With a Rat's Nest and Boots with lightning damage enchantment, tooltip DPS on Shrapnel Shot is near 137k. Total Shrapnel Shot DPS in Puzzle Building is 300k, but damage from Con is not shown, only from the projectile. We should multiply all damage by 3, 300k from projectile and 600k from Conus, because of collateral damage unique jewels. So real DPS is near 900k if we stay close to the target. At the previous video I said that the Shrapnel Shot is a skill only for early levels. I was wrong, this is a good alternative to a Barrage. But Barrage still should be better with a very endgame gear. Shrapnel is a good budget variant which needs only 2 unique jewels. This build has good AoE and single target DPS, but not so good defense. I have played this build on a Turmoil race and it was much better with an old wall pact. Right now my defense is only some evasion, dodge, 1 life flask and decoy totem. It is not so good as I want, but it is playable. And with the Guardian support in party this build looks really amazing. Finally I want to thank GGG for the hard and interesting league. It is not so deadly like early Beyond, but at this league I remember the almost forgotten feeling that the game was trying to kill me on each map. And I really enjoyed it. But Nerf XP sucks. I want more hard content, but please don't fall asleep 50 more hours. It's not a difficulty which I want to. Okay, it's time to some gameplay video. And as usual, good luck, stay safe and Happy New Year, Exiles!